A 16-year-old scientific finding, the legal bedrock for United States limits on climate warming pollution, could soon be erased. The Trump administration has proposed revoking the Environmental Protection Agency's 2009 endangerment finding, a move Oregon officials warn will have serious and far-reaching consequences for the state's health, economy, and climate goals. First, what exactly is the endangerment finding? Picture a doctor's diagnosis. In 2009, after a 2007 Supreme Court ruling, the EPA formally concluded that 6 greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, methane, and 4 others, endanger public health and welfare. That diagnosis gave the agency clear authority under the Clean Air Act to prescribe remedies, tougher fuel economy standards for cars, limits on power plant emissions, and other rules that have shaped United States climate policy ever since. Now, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin wants to tear up the diagnosis, calling the plan the largest deregulatory action in the history of America. The administration argues the Clean Air Act was meant for local smog, not global warming. Their main evidence, a Department of Energy report criticized by scientists for downplaying climate risks and misrepresenting data. Oregon leaders see the proposal as a direct threat. Governor Tina Kotek calls it politics, not science, warning it could slow or reverse progress on cleaner fuels and vehicles. Transportation alone produces roughly 35% of Oregon's greenhouse gas emissions. Many of the state's programs depend on strong federal standards. Without them, communities already burdened by traffic pollution could face more asthma attacks, hotter heat waves, and higher healthcare costs. The backlash extends well beyond Oregon. A coalition of 23 state attorneys general has formally objected, saying the proposal defies settled law, Supreme Court precedent, and overwhelming scientific consensus. California Governor Gavin Newsom labels it a dereliction of duty and a betrayal of the EPA's mission. Scientists are equally blunt. The National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine recently reaffirmed that the 2009 finding was accurate and that evidence of climate-related harm is now even stronger. In their words, the health dangers of climate change are beyond scientific dispute. If the finding is revoked, the EPA would lose its authority to regulate greenhouse gas emissions for new vehicles and engines. Existing federal standards could be rolled back, potentially boosting pollution and undermining United States automakers' push toward cleaner technologies, just as global competitors race ahead. A courtroom showdown appears inevitable. States, public health groups, and environmental organizations are already preparing lawsuits, framing the fight as a test of whether science or politics will guide federal climate policy. For Oregonians, the stakes are personal. Hotter summers, smokier wildfire seasons, and higher energy costs if the state has to shoulder more of the burden alone. For the nation, the question is larger. Will a 16-year-old scientific diagnosis remain the cornerstone of clean air protections, or will it be stripped away, leaving the country with fewer tools to combat a warming planet? One thing is certain. The battle over the endangerment finding is no longer just an arcane legal debate inside Washington. It is a collision of federal power, state ambition, and scientific reality, one that will shape the air we breathe and the climate our children inherit.